All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're taking a true crime-style deep dive into the digital criminal underworld. We're going to look really closely at exactly how bad actors try to break into your systems, steal your data, and literally hold your digital life hostage. It's a fascinating and honestly kind of terrifying landscape. But hey, by the end of this, you'll know exactly what you're up against. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's dive into this. I want to start off by asking you a pretty simple question. What do you think is the absolute biggest threat to your computer right now? Like, is it a team of shadowy, super sophisticated hackers in a basement somewhere? Or maybe some rogue artificial intelligence?
Well, according to Unit 5.2 of our Information Technology Theory text, the surprising and frankly humbling answer is you. Yeah, human error is actually our biggest vulnerability by far. It's the gateway. Just leaving a device logged in and unattended, using the exact same weak password for all your accounts, or blindly clicking on some sketchy link in an email. These simple, everyday mistakes are exactly what the digital underworld relies on to get a foot in the door.
A prime everyday example of this human element is the concept of GIGO, or garbage in, garbage out. It's basically a fundamental rule of computing. If you capture inaccurate or just nonsense information, like say casually typing an email address wrong, the program doesn't just magically fix it for you. It literally outputs that same garbage right back to you, and your message fails to send. It's an innocent mistake, right? But what happens when external malicious threats start actively exploiting these human tendencies?
And that brings us to our master list, drawn directly from Table 5.1 in the source text. Think of this as our digital lineup of the usual suspects. We are about to systematically profile these major network vulnerabilities so you can recognize their specific core behaviors in the wild.
Let's rapidly profile our first suspect, the virus. A computer virus is malicious software loaded onto your system entirely without your knowledge. Its defining characteristic is that it replicates itself to spread and then executes its malicious payload. Importantly, though, a classic virus usually needs to attach itself to a host program or file to actually function and cause damage.
Next up is the worm. And well, it behaves a bit differently. A worm doesn't need to attach itself to another program, and, frighteningly, it doesn't even need you to click anything to spread. Think of it like a digital burglar, just walking down a hotel hallway, checking for open doors. A worm is constantly scanning the network for open network ports, using those exact vulnerabilities to actively push copies of itself from one computer to the next.
Then we have the Trojan. Just like the mythical wooden horse, this malware is the digital equivalent of a disguised gift. It looks like a fun game or maybe a really useful utility, tricking users through social engineering into willingly downloading it. But once you bring it inside your system, bam, it springs the trap, granting attackers backdoor access. A particularly dangerous variant you should definitely know about is a keylogger. This sits quietly in the background and records every single keystroke you make, literally capturing your passwords in real time.
Wrapping up the pure malware family definitions is the rootkit, and this one is the ultimate stealthy backdoor. A rootkit burrows deep, hiding completely within the operating system itself, specifically to evade your anti-malware programs. It grants the attacker a permanent, hidden remote connection to your infected machine. This allows them to install or remove components at will, all while you suspect absolutely nothing.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it clarifies the difference between two distinct deception tactics that frequently get confused. Spoofing is essentially a disguise. An attacker fakes an email header to pretend it's from a known, trusted source, kind of like a friend desperately asking for money. Phishing, on the other hand, is an extraction technique. It involves sending official-looking emails to trick you into directly typing out and handing over sensitive info, like your banking passwords. They often work together, but they are very different tools in the attacker's toolkit.
Just look at how a real-world phishing attack actually lands in your inbox. It poses as an official communication from FNB, stating a payment has been made and demanding you click login to view the details. This right here is the bait. They use urgency or curiosity to make you bypass your critical thinking, click that link, and type your real credentials straight into their fake website.
But hey, what if you're careful? What if you never click email links, and instead you meticulously type the exact correct web address of your bank into your browser? Well, that is where Farming comes into play. Farming takes deception a terrifying step further. This malicious code hijacks the actual web routing, so even when you type the correct address flawlessly, it forcibly misdirects you to a fraudulent, official-looking site to steal your information. It's invisible, and it is highly dangerous.
Section 2. The heavy hitter. ransomware and the digital hostage crisis.
We've covered the infiltrators and the tricksters, but now let's look at a threat so severe it brings entire corporate operations to a grinding halt and takes your personal digital life completely hostage. To truly understand the impact of ransomware, let's look at the harrowing case study of Alina. Consider this staggering number, 5,726. That represents the exact number of personal files, documents, and irreplaceable photos that were locked and encrypted by a ransomware attack on her computer. The encryption was so powerful that recovering the information without the attackers was effectively impossible.
So, the crucial point is the financial extortion Alina faced. The attackers gave her a brutal choice through a pop-up message: pay up or lose those files forever. The ransom? $500. Now, what's absolutely fascinating is that Alina actually had a backup of her computer, but it was 6 months old. She eventually realized that losing half a year of her life's digital history was simply too devastating, so she paid the $500 ransom just to get her own data back.
Alina's story perfectly summarizes the devastating mechanics of a ransomware attack. First, it encrypts the data. Then, it extorts money for the decryption key. In a business context, it brings all dependent operations to a complete, disastrous halt. And the nightmare doesn't even end when the ransom is paid. It then requires massive amounts of time and money for extensive system cleanup and updated antivirus implementation, just to ensure the attackers are actually gone.
Section 3. Defending your digital life. Building your armor. Let's move to and see how this builds from those gloomy threats to some actionable, empowering solutions.
See, we aren't completely helpless against these threats. Based on the text, here is your clear, structured defensive toolkit. First up, access rights. Administrators absolutely must set up accounts to restrict unauthorized file access, keeping sensitive data compartmentalized. Second, firewalls. This is hardware or software that constantly monitors and blocks malicious incoming and outgoing network traffic. Third, antivirus. System software to prevent, detect, and automatically remove the malware we just discussed. And finally, validation. Locking the front door with strong passwords that completely avoid personal info or sequential numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Which brings our deep dive full circle. Knowing this terrifying lineup of digital threats, from worms to ransomware, are you still the biggest vulnerability to your own data? The tools to protect yourself exist, for sure, but they only work if you actually implement them and stay vigilant. I highly encourage you to audit your own personal security habits right after this. Thanks for joining me on The Explainer. Stay sharp and keep your data safe.